live on tape. This is Late Night with Lazlo number 3. Well, if you're going to say, well, Lazlo, you had Lazlo 2.1, so this is really Lazlo 4. Shut up! This is Lazlo number 3. Late night, if you will. So, we got news tonight. We got some stinking hurricane that's going to be, or tropical depression, or storm, or whatever the freak it's going to be. They're going to give it a name like Chuckles, or Dipshit, or whatever. So, if you see the right here, it's going to hit around the Oak Island, Myrtle Beach area, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Oak Island, North Carolina, sometime Wednesday. It's going to go up into the, the beach areas. Hopefully it'll whack out some of those sharks that have been plaguing that area, and hopefully it won't hit me in that upper northern area. I'm not going to tell you where I'm at, but I can tell you one thing. I don't want to be around there on Thursday, if you will. And this video is not sponsored by the brewery I went to tonight and bought a growler. Tastes good. Yeah. So there's an addendum to the one of the videos I did yesterday. If I go to whatchamacallit, Steven Crowder's. Oh, look at that. Steven Crowder, Twitter. He's talking about Jessica Yaniv. Apparently, old Jessica is acting crazy. So let's here we go. Okay, we already talked about this one, and we didn't really talk about Desmond the amazing drag kid, if you will. I'm not going to talk about it because YouTube and its draconian bullshit will, put a stake in your heart and put your head on a pike in the virtual SUW world, so we're not going to go there. Here it is. So this is from Steven Crowder's Twitter. It says, couldn't believe this was real at first. The trans activist demanding beauticians wax balls also tried hosting a swim event, inviting 12-year-old girls to swim topless where parents would be barred from attending. You're like, wait, Lazlo, this cannot be true. En contraire, mon frère. It's true. So let's go to this. Oh, shoot. This is Youth All Bodies Swim for LGBTQ2S++ youth and their allies. Join us for the first Langley Youth All Bodies Swim at Al Anderson Memorial Pool. About this event. Join us for the first Langley Youth All Bodies Swim event at LGBTQ2S+ allies and their allies. Oh, I see. They're not even adding A into it because allies aren't really the same thing. Apparently, I don't know. Swim details. Registration is open to youth ages 12 to 24. Wait a minute. 12 to 24. Huh. Doors open at 4 p.m. at Al Anderson Memorial Pool. Okay. Event is free with registration. Please register by July 10th at 7 p.m. The boxing area is the important part of this story. For participant privacy and safety, parents and or caregivers are not permitted in the event. There will be no in and out access. Once you've left the event, you may not re-enter. What? What is Jessica Yaniv trying to do here? I am not going to make any assumptions. I will leave that for you to decide. But I can tell you one thing. It doesn't sound good. And as you can see her, him, it, person, they, them, or whatever the hell this is, whether her preferred pronouns is her, hers, whatever. And then part of her, she said, from July 12th, 2019, I'll be presenting on how we need an LGBTQ2 plus. Oh, the 2 is two-spirit. All bodies, swim ages 12 plus. I will see you there. Rainbow flag, something, wetness, swimming. All from her Twitter iPhone. So the question here is, what the flying fuck is going on? So, yeah, going back to Erica Thomas, the state rep in Georgia, who accused that far-left Democrat of telling her to go back where she came from. She kind of walked back those comments, but if it was Twitter and other new mainstream media, far-left outlets, they didn't report on that. So Erica Thomas claimed a white racist told her to go back where she came from. Now she admits he didn't. Turns out it was a disagreement over too many items in express lane, and the man was a Cuban-American Democrat, and he was completely unsurprised. And then Rita, I've seen her around. She posts some libertarian conservative stuff. She basically says, before the truth came out, there was widespread media coverage, including commentary from presidential candidates, all of it painting a false picture of seething racism. Media really are slow learners. You think after Covington and Smollett, the media would wait for some facts. Right. The media would really wait for some facts instead of trying to scoop the other ABC networks, if you will, ABC outlets, meaning a general term, not American Broadcasting Corporation. I say ABC, there's all these acronyms out there, etc. So wait for some facts to be established before whipping up hate crime hysteria. Again, this is the Washington Examiner. Let's read that real quick. It's going to take 20 years to load up. There we go. This is from today. Georgia State Rep Erica Thomas, who has blonde hair somehow, but it's not blonde hair. It's colored by coloring agents. I'm sorry, I used colored. Whoops. Georgia State Rep Erica Thomas who asserted in a tearful Facebook post that a white man at a Publix grocery store told her to, quote, go back to where you came from, unquote. Seems to be less sure that the Friday encounter was exactly how she remembered it. After reaffirming to reporters Saturdays that a white man had verbally accosted her and her daughter, telling them to, quote, go back, unquote, to where they came from in a racially charged tirade, Thomas was interrupted by the accused man himself, Eric Sparks, who had a very different story to tell. Sparks accused Thomas of faking the story for political purposes, saying he was, in fact, a Cuban-American Democrat who was simply irritated that she brought so many groceries to the express checkout lane. Here's Lazlo's advice number 1. If you see some person doing that, just don't bother him. Let him go. There's no reason to interject yourself into someone who doesn't know any social norms or can in fact figure this out for themselves, that you don't do that. But you know what? But she said, a quote, I'm 9 months pregnant, I can do what I want, unquote. She didn't really say that, but you know, I assume that's who she felt. Thomas rebuked Sparks' Virgin events, however, interview later that day on Saturday saying, quote, I don't know if he said go back or those types of words. I don't know if he said go back to your country or go back to where you came from, but he was making those type of references is what I remember. What does that mean? Those types of references? I mean, it's funny. Both of these characters don't know what really went on. One said one thing, one said the other. I think both these people should, I don't know, shut the fuck up. How about that? Because that would be very better for right now. Because all this bullshit is just dividing the country even fucking more. But here's the thing. They're both Democrats. Far left Democrats. Dividing this country, pushing the extremes further out to the left and to the right. Probably more to the left. Because if you're talking about there's extreme right-wing something. Who? Who's extreme right-wing in this country? Nazis. Guess what? The far left are the Nazis. During World War II, the German Workers' Socialist Party was, you guessed it, the N-word. You're talking about far right. Are you talking about a theocracy? You're talking about anarchy? Both of these characters, though Eric Sparks and Erica Thomas, are both far left douchebags. Plain and simple, end of story, cut dry, signed, sealed, delivered. Done. I don't have to read this because it kind of rehashes what I said yesterday, and that's it. I like this right here. Trump claims he could win Afghanistan war in a week, but he does not want to kill 10 million. You know what? I find it funny is that all of us, armchair quarterbacks or armchair presidents, will say, I can win any war in less than a week, but a lot of people die. We'd be 100% correct. And what Trump says here, and I'm not going to click on this because it's obviously clickbait, is 100% correct. Think about it. If you had the codes to the nuclear football and you had all the resources available to you, you could end anything within minutes if you really wanted to. But you don't want to do that. If you want to, it would save a lot of money and time and effort, but you don't want to because there's still a lot of American hardware and assets over there, and people, most importantly. You just don't want to do that. It is what it is, buddies. Yeah. Let's do some of the old Drudge Report. El Dado El Cabo. Oh, good God, man, I'm tired. This is what pisses me off right here. More spending, more debt, 320 million blowout, billion. Deal keeps light on. So basically, I'm not going to click on the story, but they're kicking the debt limit down the road for another 2 years. So for as many years I complained about the debt limit being too high and reoccurring too much debt and the unfunded liabilities that we're going to have to pay, all this does is ratchet that up. And at this point, it's like, screw it, I don't care. Maybe I contract some sort of disease and I die. Guess what? Whoops. Who cares about it? I know what you're going to say. What about your family members and nieces and nephews and sons and daughters and blah blah? I'll be dead. Why would I care? That's their problem. I didn't do this. Oh God. Anywho. So yeah. So this week I forgot about it. It was actually last week. Robert Mueller was supposed to testify last week Wednesday. Nay. They changed it to this week on Wednesday. And if you remember correctly, he said that even if you subpoena me, I'm still going to refer you back to my the closing comments in my report, if you will. So we'll see. But I have a funny feeling that he's going to add more to this shit and drive the narrative that something happened with Trump, something Russia, something. It's going to get even more crazy. Watch for that. Hong Kong is continuing on protesting. Because if you remember, in '97, the United Kingdom relinquished control of Hong Kong back to China. The deal that was made was that they were supposed to slowly regain control over it completely over like a 57-year period. Well, China doesn't honor very many negotiation and contracts, if you will. So they kind of do what they want. So they kind of been slowly putting a thumb on everybody and keeping them down. And so, as what you see here, is that Hong Kong is realizing that, and so the people of Hong Kong. Black Pigeon Speaks does a really great video on the difference between Hong Kong and its mainland counterparts, China. Hong Kong, even though the people are descendants of China, if you will, they're not the same as China. Hong Kong and China are completely different. And so it definitely is going to add a different dynamic, if you will, to everything. It's interesting to see what the United States, Britain, and other allies will do in this regard. I have a funny feeling they're not going to do too much because it is Hong Kong. It is technically China now, so they can't do anything. So the only thing they can do is Hong Kong will have to somewhat resist them somehow, which I don't know how, but we'll see. Yeah, so the mob attacks demonstrators. So the police. It's not a very. I got a friend who actually flies into Hong Kong on a regular basis with a major American airline, if you will. Not American Airlines, but a USA flagged airline. That makes more sense. And you notice nothing was, from his hotel, of course, nothing was going on, but of course he didn't, when you fly, 14 hours, 15 hours over there, you're just not going to leave your hotel room. You're going to be tired waiting for your flight back. So here's something interesting. This happened a few times. This happened when the reboot of Red Dawn. Instead of the Chinese attacking the United States, they made it North Korea. And this updated Top Gun sequel drops Japanese and Taiwanese flags to appease communists. Beijing financing the film, which make absolute 100% sense. 100% sense. So, and then this right here. This is awesome. Al Franken regrets from resigning from Congress or Senate. It's like, screw you, douchebag. I have 3 articles left this month. Yeah. This will be the last one I will look at. And of course, the first paragraph of all these stupid New Yorker magazines is a bunch of word salad bullshit. Last month in Minneapolis, I climbed the stairs of Anyways, we get the point of this video. It's pablum, it's bullshit. Oh, this is good. Liberals push back at hashtag MeToo after backfire. I can't imagine why it would backfire on you. Al Franken's sexual assault is what hashtag MeToo was created to address, and now liberals feel victimized by it. Well played, liberals. You played yourself. Yeah, this is about that New Yorker magazine article. I wasn't gonna completely read because screw them. Um, at his house, Franken said he understood that in such an atmosphere, the public might not be eager to hear his grievances. What grievances do you have, you dick? Holding his head in his hands, he said, I don't think people who have been sexually assaulted and those kinds of things want to hear from people who have been Me Too'd that they're victims. Yet, he added, being on the losing side of Me Too movement, which he fervently supports, has led him to spend time thinking about such matters as due process, proportionality of punishment, and the Shut the fuck up, Al Franken. You got fucked. You did some bullshit. Suck it up, Buttercup. Good God, man. Fucking assholes. So, yeah. Oh, and then some Iran news. Um, if you know anything, I know a cursory, I know some cursory, some minute details about the CIA that most people don't know about, and it's just, it's nothing to, Lazlo, why do you know about it? Just don't worry about it. But from what I understand is that Iran says it arrested 17 CIA spies, sentencing some to death. Now, understand this. All of a sudden, they just arrest 17 CIA spies out of the frickin' blue after all this shit was happening in the Strait of Hormuz. You gotta ask yourself, all of them are CIA spies? That's strange. How do you know and what proof? Well, if you're Iran, you don't need proof. This is from, I think, The Sun. Yep. Trump blasts totally false claim to have sentenced CIA spies to death as Tehran releases name of suspects. And we got Dwayne the Dog the Bounty Hunter. We got Chuckles the Trucker Hat. We got Blondie McBlonde. Damn. So you don't know. Iran will sentence to death a cup of coffee if it fits their need. And that's what they do. So yeah, so that's what Iran does. They'll just go out of the way to like sentence to death people that are not even involved in it, and then this is what they do. I mean, can you expect anything less or more? It's just what they do. Anyways, like I said, I would rather have done a live version of this, but my encoder was acting like a little bitch tonight, so I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna end it here. So because it would have been fun to have some chat room interactions and stuff like that. So. Anywho, that's Late Night with Lazlo number 3. I won't say it's number 4 because it's not. And I will see you next time, possibly tomorrow, with another, dare I say, biased video. Because when people put out videos, there is some sort of biases, if you will. If you say that you don't have a bias, everyone has a bias. Shut your face and admit your bias. Lazlo out.